Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bhagavad Gita chapter 4, text 1. Sri Bhagavanu Vacha Imam Vivashvate Yogam Proktavan Aham Avyayam Vivashvan Manu Praha Manu Rikshya Vyakeva Brahmet.
The personality of Godhead, Lord Sri Krishna, said, perishable science of yoga to the sun god Vivasvan, and Vivasvan instructed it to Manu, the father of mankind, and Manu in turn instructed it to Shvaku.
Text 2. Evam parampara praptan imam rajarshayo viduhu sakalena hamahata yogo nashta parantapa.
This supreme science was thus received through the chain of disciplic succession, and the saintly kings understood it in that way. But in course of time, the succession was broken, and therefore the science as it is appears to be lost.
Text 3. Saevayam mayatedya yoga prokta parattanaha proktoshi meshaka cheti rahasyam hyatadeutamam.
That very ancient science of the relationship with the Supreme is today told by me to you because you are my devotee as well as my friend and can therefore understand the transcendental mystery of this science.
Text 4. Arjuna uvacha aparam bhavacho janma param janma vivastvataha katame tadvivyaniyam tvam adau proktavan iti.
Arjuna said, the sun god Vivaswan is still nearby to you. How am I to understand that in the beginning you instructed this science to him?
Text 5. Sri Bhagavanu Acha Bahuni me vyatitani janmani tavacharjuna tanyaham veda sarvani natvam veta parantapa.
The personality of Godhead said, many, many births, both you and I have passed. I can remember all of them, but you cannot, O subdue of the enemy.
Text 6. Ejupi sannavyat yayatma bhutanam ishvaropi san prakritim swam adishtaya sambhavamyat mamayaya.
Although I'm unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I'm the Lord of all living entities, by my internal energy I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form.
Text 7. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata abhyutta tama adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham.
Whenever, wherever there is a decline of religion practice, a descendant of Bharata, and the predominant rise of a religion, at that time I descend myself.
Text 8. Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya chadushkritam dharma sansthapanataya sambhavami yuge yuge.
To deliver the pious and to annihilate the miscreants, as well as to re-establish the principles of religion, I myself appear millennium after millennium.
Text 9. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yo viti tatvataha tvaktva deham punar janma naiti mam iti surjana.
One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attain my eternal abode, O Arjuna.
Text 10. Vaitaraga bhava krodha manmaya mam upashritaha bhava hodjana tapasa bhuta madbhavan agataha.
Being freed from attachment, fear, and anger, being fully absorbed in me, and taking refuge in me, many persons in the past become purified by knowledge of me, and thus they all attain transcendental love for me.
Text 11. Ye yatamam papad yante tanstat aiva bhajamyaham mama vartmanu vartante manushya parta sarvashaha.
As all surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Pratha.
Text 12. Kankshanta karmanam siddhim yajanta ihi devataha krishipram hi manushiloke siddhir bhavati karmaja.
Men in this world desire success in fruitive activities, and therefore they worship the demigods. Quickly, of course, men get results from fruitive work in this world.
Text 13. Chaturvarnyam maya shrishtam guna karma vishagachaha tasya kartaram apimam vidya kartaram avyayam.
According to the three modes of material nature and the work associated with them, or four divisions of human society, are created by me. And although I am the creator of this system, you should know that I am yet the non-doer, being unchangeable.
Text 14. Namam karmani limpanti na me karma phale priha iti mamyo brijan nati karma bhirna sabhadyate.
There is no work that affects me, nor do I aspire for the fruits of action. One who understands this truth about me also does not become entangled in the fruitive reactions of work.
Text 15. Evam gyatva kritam karma purver api mumukshubhi kuru karmaiva tasmatvam purvai purvataram kritam.
All the liberated souls in ancient times acted with this understanding of my transcendental nature. Therefore, you should perform your duty following in their footsteps.
Text 16. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo pripyatra mohitaha tate karma prabhakshyami yajñatva mokshyasev shivat.
Did I lose? Even the intelligent are bewildered in determining what is in action and what is inaction. Now I shall explain to you what action is, knowing which you shall be liberated from all misfortune.
Text 17. Karmano hyapi bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi.
The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is.
Text 18. Karmanya karmaya pashyed akarmancha manicha karmayaha sa buddhi manusyeshu sa yukta krishna karma krit.
One who sees inaction in action and action in inaction is intelligent among men, and he is in the transcendental position, although engaged in all sorts of activities.
Text 19. Yasya sarve samar ambha kama sankalpa varjitaha jnanagni dagna dagdha karmanam tam ahupan ditam buddha.
One is understood to be in knowledge, whose every endeavor is devoid of desire for sense gratification. He is said by sages to be a worker for whom the reactions of work have been burnt up by the fire of perfect knowledge.
Text 20. Tyaktva karma phala sangam nitya tripto nirashrayaha karmani ravritopi naiva kinchit karoti saha.
Abandoning all attachment to the results of his activities, ever satisfied and independent, he performs no fruitive action, although engaged in all kinds of undertakings.
Text 21. Nirashiryata chittatma tyakta sarva pirigdaha rahaha shariram kevalam karma kurvan noti kilbisham.
Such a man of understanding acts with mind and intelligence perfectly controlled, gives up all sense of proprietorship over his possessions, and acts only for the bare necessities of life. Thus, working, he is not affected by sinful reactions.
Hare Krishna. Text 22. Yadricha labha santushto dvandvati to vimatsaraha samasidhau asidhau cha kritva pina nibhadyate.
He who is satisfied with gain, which comes of its own accord, who is free from duality and does not envy, who is steady in both success and failure, is never entangled, although performing actions.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you for the service. Thank you very much.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Julie Mataji and Nitai Mataji for your wonderful recitation. Can you all hear me?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So I am at a program today and there's some kirtans going on downstairs. If there is a lot of disturbance, please let me know. If not, then we will continue with our verses. So today's verse is 417. There it is, but I'll have to put it in a mode of this, yeah. Karmano hi api bodhavyam. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha. Akarmanascha bodhavyam. Gahana karmano gatihi. Karmano, of work. He, certainly. Api, also. Bodhyam should be understood. Bodhavyam should be understood. Cha, also. Vikarmana, for forbidden work. Akarmana, of inaction. Cha, also. Bodhavyam should be understood. Gahana, very difficult. Karmana, of work. Gatihi, entrance. Translation by Srila Prabhupada. The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, what inaction is. If purport by Srila Prabhupada, if one is serious about liberation from material bondage, one has to understand the distinction between action, inaction, and unauthorized actions. One has to apply oneself to such an analysis of action, reaction, and perverted actions because it is very difficult subject matter to understand Krishna consciousness and action according to its modes. One has to learn one's relationship with the Supreme. That is, one who has learned perfectly knows that every living entity is an eternal servitor of the Lord, and that consequently one has to act in Krishna consciousness. The entire Bhagavad Gita is directed towards this conclusion. Any other conclusion against this consciousness and its attendant actions are vikarmas or prohibited actions. To understand all this, one has to associate with the authorities on Krishna consciousness and learn the secret from them. This is as good as learning from the Lord directly. Otherwise, even the most intelligent person will be bewildered.
Recording in progress.
Om Jnanam Timirindasya Jnananjana Chaksharan Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Utapad Kamalam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupa Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitam He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Patitanam Pavnebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is verse number 17 of chapter 4th of Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is. Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha akarmanascha bodhavyam gahana karmano gatihi. So Lord Krishna here is emphasizing to Arjun a point that one should know what is the action and what is the inaction. What is action? What is inaction? And what is forbidden action? Akarma, vikarma, and karma. Akarma, vikarma, and karma. So these are three terminologies that is being used. And Krishna is saying that one should know them properly. Now, if you are in a city driving a car and you happen to park in a place where council has put a notice that you cannot park that day, they will definitely give you a ticket. Similarly, not knowing is not an excuse. You cannot excuse yourself from the penalty. So Krishna is saying that if you do not know the laws of the universe, It is not an excuse that you will not get the reactions of your action in this universe. It is not going to happen like that. You can plead that I'm innocent, I didn't know, but that's not what Krishna is accepting. Krishna is saying that one should know it properly. Bodhavyam. He's saying one should know it properly. It has to be understood, should be understood. Bodhavyam. And he has used this word a couple of times in this verse, 3 times. Karmanohi api bodhavyam. Bodhavyam cha vikarmanah. One should know what is karmana. Karmano hi api bodhavyam. And one should also know what is vikarma, which is forbidden work. Bodhavyam cha vikarmana. And one should also know akarmana. What is that is inaction. Akarmana cha bodhavyam. Gehna karmano gatihi. So, because these intricacies, he's also saying of action are very hard to understand. It's not easy to understand these things. How do you understand? Srila Prabhupada has given in purport, the only way to understand this is through the help of the devotees of the Lord, because they are the ones who are representing the Lord. Bhagavat Sachat, Dharmam tu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranito. Whatever Lord Krishna speaks or Supreme Personality of Godhead speaks becomes Dharma. Now, who is the representative of Dharma on the planets or the universes? Those who are devotees of the Lord. And why are they the representative? Because they are the ones who know exactly what Krishna's heart is and how and why things are being done the way they are done. There's such a big administrative system that is being placed in the material world to run this material world. Material world is only 10% of the total creation. Rest of it is the spiritual world. So it is described in Srimad Bhagavatam that material world is like a cloud in one corner of the sky, and all those who do not really want to be under the supervision or under the shelter of the Lord, those who want to lord over the material energy of the Lord, those who want to be like Lord and therefore would like to have that kind of central position themselves, to be feeling the enjoyer and want to be served by the material energy, are then placed in that dark region of the spiritual sky, which is called the material world. Now, such souls who have appeared and come here, Krishna does not forget them. Krishna is always inquiring about them. Krishna is always wanting to be having them back with him. Now, the reason that he wants us or living entity to be back with him is because living entity is part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna understands like a father that the children that have gone away will not be happy without him being with him. Because the natural constitutional position of the living entity is being of the servitor, that they can go back and serve the Lord. Now, if that is not going to happen, living entity will not be happy. It's like a child who is lost of a very wealthy person, or a man who is lost of a very wealthy person, and he's thinking that, oh, I don't have any owner, and I have to really work hard now for my survival. And he starts his life from scratch in a new city. And now the father is always keeping an eye on the child or the man and making sure that some of the friends are always around to keep him with the facilities that he needs, and all the arrangements are being made by the father for the child. Similarly, Krishna is constantly sarvasya chaham hridhi sannivishto mataha smritirgyanam apohanam cha. Krishna is constantly present in the heart. Hridhi sannivishto. He is nivisht. He is present. He is situated in the heart as the supreme soul, as the supreme personality of Godhead, four-armed Vishnu form, like a size of a thumb. He's always present along with the soul, guiding the soul. Mata smritir jnanam apohanam cha. He's giving smritir, the mata, knowledge, smritir, remembrance. Mata smritir jnanam, knowledge, apohanam, forgetfulness. So Krishna is therefore guiding this living entity from one end to other, and from one lifetime to other lifetime, just giving him intelligence so that this living entity can continue to enjoy the facilities that he wants to enjoy in the material world. But however, one can feel that whatever way you want to adopt to enjoy in this material world, your enjoyment is very limited, and unfortunately, it is very temporary. Now, whenever there's an action done for the enjoyment, this action always possesses a reaction. And that reaction is what Krishna is right now describing, because Arjun doesn't want to fight. And now, being a Kshatriya, being the savior of Dharma, being the bodyguard of Dharma, it is his duty. He's bound by the dharmic duty, occupational duty to protect Dharma. Therefore, Arjun is now being told by Krishna that if you do not act in this way, that you want to leave the battlefield of Kurukshetra and you want to go away from here, you are actually behaving in a way that a dharmic person should not behave. Therefore, Krishna is now telling him the intricacies of the karma, that how one should act and how one should not act. Now, what Arjun wanted to do was not to fight. And Krishna is saying that is not dharma, that's adharma. Now, Krishna has now defined three things: karmana, vikarmana, and akarmana. So there is karma, vikarma, akarmana. What are these three things? Karmano means the activities which are done in the guidance of the Vedic literature, activities which are done as per the dharmic statements. For example, meat eating is not allowed, but sometimes meat eating is allowed only for the lower class of people, and that too in the condition that they have to sacrifice the animal themselves, and they have to sacrifice the animal once in a fortnight on the night of Amavasya and offer it to Goddess Kali, and then take that as a prasad. Now, while they're offering, they are also chanting the mantras that in this lifetime, I am cutting your neck and throat, but in next lifetime, when I become a goat because of my karmic reaction, you will become a human and you will have the right to cut me. Now, by doing such an activity again and again, it is considered that someday this living entity will think, oh, what am I doing? And why am I doing this? Because I have to suffer the consequences of this activity because of the taste of the tongue. Now, it is not definitely allowed by the Vedic Shastra that one would open the all the butcher houses all over the world and kill the innocent animal, left, center, right, make money and commercialization. A whole industry is running around it. Name a brand that you know, like McDonald's and Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, and many, many more who are doing this farming activities. They call it farming, actually. That's not farming. It's hinsa. It's killing the animals, innocent animals, and then they're supplying this food to everybody. Little children, innocent children, they don't know what they're eating. They're going to the supermarket and buying this all kind of animal products, and they're consuming it. So this demonic civilization, this is called vikarmanaha, not in alliance with, not in line with Vedic literature. And that is where there's a problem. Chaturvarnam maya system, gunakarma vibhagasha. There are 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. Now, there is Brahmin, there is Kshatriya, there is Vaishya, there is a Sudra. But those who are not following any of the Vedic literature, they are less than the Sudras. The 5th class, 6th class, and Prabhupada has described dog eaters. In Korea, if you go, the dog eating or dog is the national delicacy of this country. And everybody, you don't find dogs on the street anymore. In China, they hung the dog upside down and beat him to death so that meat becomes tangy and nicer for them, for the tongue. And they do such heinous activities. This is all with karma. Making these factories, producing machineries, making the wheel civilization, is all leading to hell because nobody is being guided towards the spiritual aspect of the birth of human life. And therefore, Krishna is very, very, very deeply emphasizing on the fact that one should know what is karma and what is vikarma. He's also giving an insight into the word akarmana. And later he will be talking about that how devotees of the Lord, when they dovetail every single activity in pleasing the Lord, not pleasing their own senses, eventually, which is bhakti, which is karma, which is nishkam karma yoga. When you do your activity without any attachment to the fruits, without any attachment to the activities, only for the pleasure of the Lord, only for the pleasure of the pure devotees of the Lord, then that becomes akarmana. It has no karmic reaction. There's only karmic reaction comes because the living entity wants to enjoy in this material world. Because they want to enjoy it, therefore one activity will lead to another activity, and therefore they will have to take another birth to take in order to have the karmic reaction. If somebody is doing a lot of pious deed, they will have to take birth in the planets of the demigods. In demigods planets, then they will have to now receive all the opulences that has been created in their bank account of piety account when they were doing pious activities. And similarly, when the credit accounts of pious activities is finished, then they will have to go to the hellish planets again. In the hellish planets, they will have to now suffer the reactions of the impious activities that they have been doing. Now, it's not that pious minus impious becomes nullified. No, pious activities, you will accrue the pious results, and impious activities, you will accrue the impious reactions. And then you go to the hell, and there you will get the appropriate punishment and sufferings basis the reaction that has been accrued. Now, therefore, it is said that the happiness and the suffering of this world, they're same aspect of they're two aspects of the same coin. One would feel happiness because of the relief from suffering. Therefore, one should not feel very elated when they are very happy due to the sense perception. And Krishna has therefore mentioned that one should tolerate happiness and distress. Now, having said that, now in the condition where one becomes devotee of the Lord and one is only wanting to serve the Lord, Annabhilashita shunyam jnana karma anavritam. One does not have any other desire but to serve the Lord. And in that situation, one doesn't need to have a material body. What will he do with the material body? Because he no more wants to enjoy the perception of the senses. In that situation, when he doesn't want to enjoy from the senses, why should material nature award him a body? He has overcome his attraction towards the external energy of the Lord. He has overcome his senses have come into control. Therefore, his senses are no more. His mind is no more saying that I want to do this, I want to do that, and therefore material energy will have to now arrange a new body out of this 8.4 million species. He has to take another body. No need of any body now. You get your spiritual body, Sat Chidananda Vigraha. Now Krishna has Sat, Chit and Ananda body. Similarly, our soul, which we are in reality, also is made of bliss, eternity, and knowledge. Now, when these three substances, when you acquire this body, Srila Prabhupada said that you walk out of this dead body. You walk out of this body made of earth, fire, water, air, ether. You walk out and you embrace Krishna if you have performed devotional service throughout your life, which means you have acted in the definition of of Krishna, akarmana. Karmana hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmana, akarmanascha bodhavyam. One should know what is akarmana, and that will liberate one from the material bondage. That is some substance of this particular words. And in this, if you can see the purport, that's where Srila Prabhupada has also touched upon this entire science of knowing oneself, how to then act in knowing oneself, then knowing the relationship with the Supreme, and now how to act one in a way that one can go back to the original constitutional relationship with the Supreme. And when we act like that, he says any other conclusions against this consciousness, which means if we do not act in Krishna consciousness, in that consciousness which is not Krishna consciousness, the actions are vikarmas or prohibited action, which means anything that we do for the pleasure of our own senses is considered as sinful, full stop. Anything that we do for the pleasure of the senses of the Lord, that is called dharma, in the sense that it is a karma. There is no reaction to such an action. It is brilliant science, because this secret is not being shared by anybody. It is such a perfect science, because now devotees who know this, just like devotees, they know that on Ekadashi, we should not eat grains. And what happens if we eat grain? When we eat grain on the day of Ekadashi, Krishna has already announced on this day, the Papa Purusha, the sinful personality will be residing in the grains. And if you eat grains on that particular day, your propensity to act in sinful way, which means to act in vikarma, which means to act in not Krishna conscious way, will further be aggravated. So if you don't eat grains on the day of Ekadashi, then you will be saved from this propensity and you will not accumulate this propensity of sinning. Similarly, Krishna is here telling the secret. This secret of Ekadashi is already shared by Krishna. So all the devotees of the Lord, they fast on Ekadashi from grains. Similarly, here, Krishna is sharing the secret that one should be not working in a way that is, again, that is not in line with Krishna consciousness. What will happen if you work? You will be again going into the cycle of birth and death. And if you want to save yourself from that cycle of birth and death, then you act according to Krishna consciousness. So today is Deepavali, and I would like to wish everybody happy Deepavali. On this day, Lord Ram has come back to Ayodhya. And Lord Ram has come to Ayodhya after 14 years of exile. In these 14 years of exile, the last year became very critical when Ravana kidnapped Mother Sita, and a big battle ensued between Lord Ram and Ravan. All of us know the story of this battlefield, how Sugriv and Bali and all their armies, monkey armies, came together with Lord Ram and Lakshman, and a chief of that being the Sugriv, and the most lovable of them being Hanuman, how they made the bridge to cross the waters of Indian Ocean to reach Lanka. And then there was a massive battle that ensued. In that battle, eventually all the Rakshasas were killed, and most of them, including Ravana and his entire army and his own sons, they were all killed. But Vibhishan, being the devotee of the Lord, see, the devotee of the Lord again was completely protected by the Lord, and he became the successor of Lanka. Now, when this battle was happening, and towards the end, all the demigods appeared on the sky, including Brahma, Shiva, Indra, and even Dashrath Maharaj came in the sky. And at that time, Lord Ram asked Indra that, can you please, O King of the Celestials, please bring back to life all the monkey warriors that died doing service for me. You see, Lord can do anything for his devotees. Lord can do anything for his devotees. And the action that these monkeys have done was in the spirit of vikarma, akarma. So now Lord wanted them to be revived. And now Indra, he was very happy to be able to give this boon. And he said that I shall happily do so. And within no time, all the monkey warriors who were seemingly dead started to awaken from their as if they were in a long sleep. And when that happened, it was quite miraculous, because all the monkeys who have lost lives were back in their lives, in their bodies, and they were all active. Then Indra departed, but Lord Ram was very concerned. Mother Sita now was with him, and he was very concerned that Bharat was fasting. And if Bharat was fasting in the sense that he was only accepting few grains, that too dipped in the cow urine as his food, and he was wearing a matted lock, and he was worshipping the kharau or the shoes of Lord Ram, putting them on the throne, and he was ruling Ayodhya on behalf of his elder brother Lord Ram. And he had pledged that if Lord Ram does not come at the last day of the 14 years, then he will surely kill himself. He will commit suicide. And Lord Ram fairly knew this, and he said that, okay, he said to Vibhishan, after coronating him the king of Lanka, that if I go back on foot, we will not reach on time, and he can't see losing Bharat, his life. Therefore, can he make some arrangements? And immediately Vibhishan suggested that why not Lord Ram ride in Pushpak chariot. Pushpak chariot was actually the chariot of Kuvera, half brother of Ravana, and Ravan Ravan, he not only molested, rather, I do not want to use the word, but he raped the wife of Kuvera, his half brother, and he snatched this particular Pushpak Viman from Kuvera, and he was using this particular Viman. This Viman was very special because it will take directions from the thoughts and the mind, and it could expand to any dimensions to accommodate any number of people, and it could just be riding on the wish and desire of the rider of that particular Viman. Very special, and it could fly with great speed. So Vibhishan said that in a day you will reach Ayodhya, if you, my lord, if you use this particular Viman. And of course, Lord Ram agreed. And thereafter, the monkey warriors, including the Sugriva, Hanuman, they all said that they can't just see Lord Ram going like this, and why not can they not join him to Ayodhya? And then time Lord Ram allowed Sugriva and all the other monkey warriors to come along with him. They all mounted on Pushpak Viman, and they all started to go back to Ayodhya. And it was like a reverse order playing of the video. As Lord Ram was returning, he was explaining Mother Sita that, look, that's the spot where Kumbhakaran fought with me, that's the spot where Ravana fought with me, and that's the spot where his dead body was lying, and that's the spot where we started to make the bridge, and that's where I was looking for you all the time, and that's where this Kishkinda Nagri, where I found Sugriv, and that's how we were living. Look, that's where we were living together. That's where Supnakha came. And it was like a full movie going back in the reverse order. As they arrived near Ayodhya, Lord Ram stopped the Pushpak Viman at Bharadwaj Rishi's ashram, and he took blessings of Lord Bharadwaj, where Bharadwaj Rishi told the informed Lord Ram about Bharat and what's happening with Bharat. So again, then Lord Ram mounted on the Pushpak, and he asked Hanuman to present himself as a Brahmin to Bharat and inform him that he's coming. And therefore, Lord Hanuman goes to Bharat and explained him the entire situation, what happened in 14 years. And in these 14 years, how Mother Sita was finally abducted, and how all the monkey warriors came together and they fought with Ravana's army and defeated, and Mother Sita and now Lord Ram are coming back, and they are on the way. So but as soon as Bharat heard this, he became very elated, and he started to exclaim, my long cherished wish has finally been fulfilled, and hope came to his life. He became emaciated due to severe austerities, and he was worshipping the shoes of Lord Ram on the throne. And he immediately commanded Sumantra and other ministers that they should all arrive at Nandikram, where he was situated in a hut, a thatched roof hut. And they all came riding elephants. And Kaushalya, Sumitra, and Kekai, all the mothers, they were also asked to arrive in palanquins to receive Lord Ram. And all the engineers, they hurriedly constructed a beautiful new road from Nandigram to Ayodhya so that they can receive Lord Ram in their spirit. So then Bharat picked up Ram's kharau or sandals, and then with the white royal umbrella and chamaras, accompanied by many brahmanas, he goes to Lord Ram's place. And as he was going, and he started to see in the sky, and he couldn't see any symptoms of Lord Ram. Meanwhile, there were a lot of processions where chariots were driven by beautiful horses, harnesses of golden rope, and these chariots were decorated with flags and golden embroideries and flags of various sizes and patterns. In this way, there was a whole royal entourage being on the road. And as the news was spreading to Ayodhya, all the Ayodhya's citizens, Ayodhya Vasis, they were all coming to greet Lord Ram, and they were coming and in crowds of hundreds and thousands, and collecting themselves and gathering themselves in Nandigram. And Bharat was hopefully looking in the sky, and suddenly he thought maybe Hanuman, who was initially disguised as a Brahmin, maybe he asked, did you tell the truth? Are you sure you're not showing the monkey nature of yourselves? Then Hanuman became a little restless and started looking at the sky, and suddenly he saw the dust rising in the air, and he started to see the Pushpak Viman, and that's why he announced to Bharat, "Look, there is Lord Ram." And when Bharat saw this Pushpak Viman, he praised his prostrated obeisances, and as the Pushpak Viman was coming down, Bharat and everybody else, Brahmanas, started reciting prayers in the glorification of Lord Ram. And they started offer water and paraphernalia in worship. And when Pushpak Viman landed and Bharat rushed forward and climbed into the chariot to greet his older brother. And Rama immediately got up and he embraced Bharat. And he could see how poorly his health was and how emaciated he was. And then both the lords, of course, he also embraced Lakshmana, and they were all then greeted down. And then the Lord was asked to shave up and give up his Valkal Vastra, all the clothes of the tree barks and everything. And Mother Sita, they were all taken royally to the palace where they could then bathe and clean themselves, and they all came back in royal opulence with all the mothers. They were all shining like suns, like million suns in the sky. And then finally, Bharat came before Ram and handed over the wooden shoes that, "Oh my Lord, here is your throne, and it's by your mercy in your absence I was able to represent you to the citizens of Ayodhya, and that's how I have completed my duty. Now a great burden from my head is over, and I am now handing over this throne back to you, the actual ruler of this earth." So that's how Lord Ram then ordered Pushpak Viman to go away to the real owner of that Pushpak. And Pushpak started to ascend in the sky. It started going towards the direction of north, where it can go back to the Kuvera. And thus we can see there how Lord Ram was greeted on the road by the princely order, who showered his body with beautiful fragrant flowers, and personalities like Lord Brahma and other demigods were glorifying the activities of Lord in jubilation. The Vashishta Muni, who is the family priest, he was also singing the glories of and was welcoming Lord Ram and all the entourage of the monkey armies that have come through. Shatrughan was there, who was also helping in welcoming Lord Ram. And in this way, a huge procession followed Lord Ram, and all the monkeys appearing in human form rode on the elephants on the city, on the roads of Ayodhya. When Lord Ram entered the capital, he saw all the citizens had come out of their houses, lining the streets to welcome him. So this is what we do on the day of Diwali. We decorate our houses, we clean our houses. We also clean our hearts to receive the Lord's entry into Ayodhya. We put lights of various kinds to express our jubilation that our Lord Ram is coming back from exile to the city of Ayodhya. We lit up the lamps in our houses, and therefore it is called Deepavali. Avali means the line. Ghanavali means lines of clouds. Deepavali, line of deep or diva or the ghee lamp, so to say. So all the citizens, they were, amongst them were women, children, and elderly. They were gazing upon Lord Ram's beauty, and as if they were getting back their lost lives, because they all loved Lord Ram as their own, as their own part, because Lord Ram is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he had infinite attraction, and all the citizens were so attracted to him. When Lord Ram was leaving for 14 years of exile, they all went along with the Sumantra up to the last point. And when they were all sleeping, Lord Ram wished them to leave. Otherwise, they would have left along with Lord Ram. And they were all counting that how come that we have our bodies and our souls intact in the absence of Lord Ram. When now they were seeing their beauty, they were beholding the beauty of Lord Ram before their eyes, and they were all getting back their lives. They were musicians, they were chanting of Vedic mantras, and Lord Ram was glancing lovingly over his subjects, and all his he greeted his ministers and described to them his political alliances with the monkeys and Vibhishan, and thus he comes to his father's palace like this. So, so I just wanted to touch upon this Deepavali aspect of Lord Ram, who is none other than Lord Krishna himself. Is Maryada Purushottam Ram. Maryada, he's acted in certain limits of how a living entity must act, whereas Krishna has acted Purushottam. Maryada Purushottam Ram, and Krishna has come as Purna Purushottam Ram, Purna Purushottam Bhagavan, which means that he acted in his full potency as Lord himself, killing from Putana to all kinds of demoniac souls after, up to the end when he killed the Khans, and then we can see how he was still killing people, demons, up to the end, and up to Mahabharat point where he was still due to kill so many demoniac people on the planet Earth, and that's why he was urging Arjuna to fight in the spirit of akarma. Now he's going to tell Arjun after some time, after a few chapters, he's going to tell you fight because I want you to fight now. You work according to what I want you to do. And that way, there's no way that you get any karmic reaction. And that'll be perfection of your life, because that is what is called devotional service. When we do what Krishna wants, that is perfection of our lives and perfection of our devotional service. So on this day, we pray to Lord Ram that he can please give us devotional service into his lotus feet, and we can get inspiration from Hanumanji and Bharatji and Lakshmanji and Shatrughan and all of the subjects of Lord Ram who have selflessly served Lord Ram. And similarly, if we can do so, then our lives will achieve perfection under the disciplic succession and guidance of Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna. If there is any question or comment, we can take that now. Okay, I want to wish everybody happy Diwali.
Happy Diwali, Prabhuji.
Happy Diwali, Prabhuji.
Happy Diwali, Prabhuji.
Happy Diwali, Prabhuji.
Happy Diwali, Prabhuji. Happy Diwali, Prabhuji.
to everybody.
Thank you very much.
Diwali to everybody. All devotees.
Happy Diwali to everybody.
I will let everybody enjoy the festival of Diwali.
Thank you.
Tarubhyascha kripa sindhuvebhya patitanamebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna,
Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sita Ram, Lakshman, Hanuman ji
Ki
ki
Jai.
jai.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna, everybody.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.